Your favorite Dark Lord, Deathmeister, and today we are going to be putting that away to the side to show you our newest angel, Jade. A heavily supported frame with a massive amount of DPS potential. To start off with, we're going to start with our passive. Jade's profound understanding of the relationship between life and death grants her 2 mod slots. No other frame has this. Some of her abilities apply judgment, increasing enemy damage vulnerability by 50% for 10 seconds. That right there makes her on the level of so many other frames like Gara, who could just apply a bind and get the unawareness bonus, and also open her enemies up for finishers. But this is not about her. This is about Jade. Glass, light, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, let's move on to our first ability, Light's Judgment. Create a wall of light that heals allies and hurts enemies. Those who enter the wall of light will be highlighted by judgments. And as you can see, it's very good. Even though you can increase max judgment, you can increase the damage, duration, and range of this first ability. A second ability, Symphony of Mercy. There are 3 songs you could cycle through. First of all, Power of 7, increasing the ability strength of all Warframes in her vicinity, covering a good distance. To be honest with you, I haven't seen an ability strength buff this powerful since Equinox was first introduced. Her second ability that she could cycle through, which will be honestly my replacement for couple frames, but I find it still very, very helpful. Deathbringer, increasing weapon damage by 100%, also scales with power strength. And last but not least, Spirit of Resilience. This goes very well with her survivability, being able to automatically increase shield efficiency and delay, so you can go right into that shield gating immediately, using it constantly. And keep in mind, you do not have to recast to actually switch the effect on the fly. You could just cycle it. You don't have to spend the extra energy to reapply it. And let's get on to her third ability. A third is honestly amazing for her being a debuffer. It's like they had the perfect balance between buff and debuff with this one. Jade summons her little helpers, and she will shred the armor and shields off of an enemy. It starts off at a meager 10% per second, but can be increased with power strength. I currently have 24%. So if I stand in an enemy's gaze, if an enemy stands within my gaze for just 4 seconds, they have had all their defenses removed. Keep in mind, there is a slow cap and a angle cap to this, so this isn't like Baruch where you can increase the angle. And the slow cap is actually very similar to Nova. But anyway, let's get into her last ability, Glory on High. This is very synergistic with her first, allowing you to use your alt fire to create a radial blast. She also gains a small amount of damage reduction, but I can show you how you can buff that out during modding. She also gets a range multiplier on top of that, and judgment chance is actually increased by 10%. But first, let's look at how I modded. This is one of the most expensive builds that I have ever made. First off, we're going to go on with the arcanes because there's only 2 of them. Naturally, I'm going for arcane energize because this is a caster, and arcane barrier to go very well with her second. Since we can force ourselves to have more shield, barrier will be very, very good in keeping us alive. Even though, as you can see, I've built for quite an amount of health, but that's not going to matter after the first song. We are going for aerodynamics and ability drift for added damage reduction, and also I've seen some people use corrosive projection, and I honestly don't see the purpose because that's only going to be for the armor. That's not going to stop shielded units. So to make it even more powerful, I am using growing power to increase the defense reduction power of a third. On top of that, I'm going straight for the Umbral mods because I see no reason why she shouldn't get the added power, strength, and armor from it, on top of primed flow and primed continuity to mostly balance out the maxed out transient fortitude and and also stretch. I'm going to talk about the Argus secrets in a minute. It's very interchangeable because if I want more strength, I can go more strength. If I want more duration, I could switch it out just easily. If I wanted to switch that out completely and make her really go into a caster, I could just switch that out for streamline. So you could switch through this build as much as you want. But now I've explained Jade, but let's see how she plays and how truly powerful she is. We're gonna first start out with the standard Star Chart Heavy Gunner. And as you can see, the initial shield buff doesn't matter much now. No, it does not. But let's look at her first without that. As you can see, it does apply a tick immediately and constantly through its entire effect. But the best part about this as you could listen, you can actually hear them sing with her. But I feel like we've given an incorrect testing. I want to show each effect individually as it happens. And it appears that if they are caught between the threshold of more than one, that it does in fact emit simultaneous ticks. That's pretty nice. But now let's see the armor stripping potential of her eyes. As you see in my gaze, they are losing shield. It's not shield, sorry, armor. Just like that, they are losing it by a percentage just for being within my sight. Look at that, all armor stripped, and I have yet to lay a finger upon them. And glory on high. You can't just fire regular projectiles with glory on high, but you could also cast your first and then alt fire for an explosion. And look at that. There's nothing there. I'm not trying to use my second very much because that's going to change the effect a little bit, because this will just give me added ability strength. And I don't want that to change anything if it can. I'm pretty sure D has made it so that's mostly for allies. Let me see, powers have been increased ability strength. But next, we should get on to the steel path. How effective is the armor strip on the steel path? The armor strip is immediate and very effective. This 70-degree cone, what I'm holding right here, has stripped almost, I think, like 18 out of 20 of them just from standing there. And as we cast our first, they're all gone in an instant. Level 100 steel path cannot even step to Jade. And before I go, of course, I'm going to have to give my glory build so I show you guys what I'm actually working with. I am planning to remove this Augur Pact and replace it with primed heated charge for increase on that gas damage. As you see, I'm not just running purifier, I'm running a combination of gas and corrosive. No, sorry, gas and radiation. And I know you may ask how effective it would be against something like a Grineer unit. Not a Grineer unit, but a Corpus unit. It's not actually that bad. We're gonna try it against a Sentient Onslaught. Let's see what happens. A Steel Path Sentient Onslaught. Like, look at that. A Steel Path level Sentient Onslaught. These guys seems to be a little bit stronger than the rest, actually. Let's increase that ability strength. And I know you might be confused where am I getting the ability strength up from. I'm not talking about the ability strength from the actual ability, more the ability strength I'm getting from growing power. They're so resistant to everything I have right now. Let me just... How did it live? Oh, it was glitched. Yeah, it's majorly glitched. That should help. Sumbless? I'm pretty sure I pronounced that terribly. I didn't get a good look at the naming. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys next time. And remember, sometime even the golden light can be dangerous without proper knowledge. See you guys.